Hello, everybody. Um, I don't know what y'all are doing now, but I've just had a another step, I guess, in my grief journey. Um, I know other people wait for people to join the live stream, but I figure if I'm going and people join me while I'm talking, I will just backtrack for them. It's no big deal. People watching back later will get it. It's called using the progress bar to skip through parts you've already looked at or don't want to watch. Anyway, I was sort of chatting on Discord with my son about me trying to move out of this house. I'm really tired of being here alone all the time, and I'm kind of overwhelmed with all the stuff that still needs to be done, the work, the cleaning, the moving things, the packing things, and a lot of it that I can't do myself. So, as I've tried to distract myself with things like this show from Australia, for example, I have found that um, when I'm talking to people about things, hello, it's um, it's when I end up crying. And so I was chatting with him on Discord about selling things and trying to move things out of here over this weekend because it's going to be kind of warm on Saturday, you see. And then I just broke out crying. And part of it is because I'm overwhelmed that I was crying. Part of it is because, if Randy were here, things would be a lot easier. Um, if he'd gone to the doctor sooner and been getting the treatments he needed anyway. I mean, if he were here and he were sick, like he was at the end, because they misdiagnosed him at Mercy, where he got the x-rays, and because he was putting off going to the doctor for so long, he didn't end up getting the treatment that he needed. But if he had done those things and he were still here now, then things would be much easier for me now. And so that just made me cry. And yeah, I'm still going through the anger, and sometimes it's because I'm living in the house the way I was before. Not a lot has changed for me, like as far as where I'm at during my day and stuff. And I'll just lose track of time. And I have a little problem with bed rotting because I'm just so overwhelmed and depressed that sometimes I just lay in bed trying to sleep through it all. But I mean, I guess that's normal for grief, that I'm not supposed to expect it to be chronological or in any specific type of order. The stages of grief come and go, and sometimes you go back to previous stages of grief. And so I'm in, not, I wouldn't call it exactly denial, but I forget sometimes that Randy's not just on a trip to Africa. It's almost like he's just going to come home soon. And, I'm sure the cat feels the same way. I feel so bad for my cat, who is my cat now. And I feel so bad for him because he keeps expecting, like, he'll look out the window at the car and he sees Daddy's car, and he expects that he will see Randy come in the door because that's what happens when Randy's car is in the driveway. But, I mean, I can't, I can't explain it to him. I can just give him love and say, here, have some more treat. I try not to overfeed him, but he's getting older and he's not like overweight or anything. So I figure it's okay for now to just give him a few extra little temptation treats or some extra canned food. And right now, because Randy's gone and all of his accounts have been frozen, I can't afford to take him to Brutus to the vet now. So if anything does happen, unfortunately, it's going to have to be dealt with the poor people's way, if you know what I mean. And that's not going to be good for me in an apartment. I don't really know what the heck I'm going to do, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. I've been learning I have to start saying that more because everything is just so overwhelming. You have no idea how much stuff there is in this house, and only like 10% of it is actually stuff I brought in or have brought in since I lived here in the last 12 to 13 years. And the rest is his mom's stuff, my dad's stuff, his things. And I mean, right now in Iowa, from what I understand, since he has no living relatives that have yet to come and claim things, and I don't have any legal right to, like, I don't have claim to the estate because he didn't give me any way to do that. He didn't put me in his will. He didn't sign me on to his life insurance even at work. He left his late mother and father on his life insurance at work, and they can't do anything for me if I can't get the death certificate. And I can't get the death certificate because he didn't put me on his life insurance. So it's a big toxic circle. And it's these I found a way to get my phone to power up, and it doesn't work very well. So I've had my phone forwarding to my other phone. And I've noticed that I'm still getting phone calls from like the morgue, and I can't do anything about the body in the morgue. They won't give me the death certificate because I'm not on his life insurance or in his will, and I can't get the life insurance company to claim the body if I can't get the death certificate. So I don't know what to tell the guy from the morgue. You would think they would know what to do about all that, but apparently they don't. And I see it's been like 2 or 3 months. It's been since the end of October, I guess, since we had to freeze the account because someone was trying to steal money, or actually did steal money out of the bank account, scamming with some Harley Davidson thing. I don't know, but we kind of panic called the bank and ended up having to tell them that Randy died, and so they had to freeze the bank accounts, and now all the bills aren't getting paid since the end of October, and it's now halfway through December. Well, the weather's been so cold they can't shut off the heat or anything related to the heat, which is electric and gas, but they could shut off the water, and they could shut off like trash pickup. They could they did finally shut off the internet. Thankfully, I have a data plan on my phone, but I mean, it's all been just completely not covered. A lot of bills, and yet here I'm not even getting shut off notices. I've just gotten a few statements saying the bill wasn't paid, and late payment notices is all I'm getting. So I don't know. I'm halfway through December. I really want to move because, like I said, this is boring and overwhelming and lonely, and I just don't like it at all here. I want to go, but I do still have a lot of things to go through and decide what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep. And so, like, he doesn't seem to have any family, so I'd like to try to keep some of his family photos. And yeah, I'd love to try to keep a lot of the things my dad entrusted to me. But I'm moving into an apartment with my son and his roommate, which is not very much room. So I don't know what I'll have room for, but Um, it's weird because with grief, people think, oh, you're grieving. You should be all sad and depressed all the time. And they look at you and they don't see that you're grieving, because a lot of grieving goes on inside or at times when a person is alone. And then, you get up and you go out in public and your brain is busy with dealing with what's going on in front of you. So your grief isn't really necessarily present on your face 24/7, but that doesn't mean you're not grieving. And it doesn't mean that you won't suddenly, you'll run to the bathroom at a restaurant, you're out with friends or whatever, and you look in the mirror when you're washing your hands and you start bawling. Or you're, driving home in your car, or just it hits at weird times. Sometimes when you think right now is a good time for me to have time to grieve, and then you can't make yourself grieve. I mean, so it's very weird and disorganized, and it's not helpful to me. It's very stressful to me that grief doesn't just go a certain way, because I am on the spectrum with severe ADHD and all of the things that usually go with ADHD, including OCD. And it's just, I have anxiety disorder and I have depression. And so it would be nice if I could just go through all the phases and be done grieving, but apparently I'm expecting too much from myself in that regard. So you should rest assured, and this is really why I'm doing this, you should rest assured that you are grieving the right way, no matter what way it's going. I mean, we all grieve differently, and you may or may not get all of the phases, apparently. And you also may end up stuck in a phase like I am with the angry phase. I'm angry that he didn't go to the doctor sooner. I'm angry that the doctors had misdiagnosed him. And I'm angry that he didn't get the things done he needed to get done so that I could take care of his cat and his house properly and have him buried properly. And I'm angry with myself because I didn't push him hard enough to do those things. And it seems like I'm very stuck in anger mode. But then I feel guilty because he's gone, and why should I be angry at someone who's passed away? That's ridiculous too. So, I mean, even though I feel like it's ridiculous, it's important that I let myself go through these feelings and not just try to logic them away. Because I'm not a Vulcan, I'm a human. And as a human, my brain needs to go through certain processes. My emotional state has to go through those processes in order to find a balance again. So, yeah, there's days when I have joy. My son's coming over Friday. That's certainly wonderful. I love that my son comes to visit me so much. And he's doing his best to make sure that he's taking care of me. And I love him for it. That brings me great joy. But, that doesn't mean I'm not grieving. Grieving doesn't just stop because you suddenly find a moment of joy in your life. So, don't feel bad. And if you have any questions about ideas of how to grieve or how to deal with your grief, I guess, or how to tell other people about your grief when they are curious, I'm here for you. You just post a comment and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Anyway, that's all I have for right now, you guys. Live long and prosper. And remember, infinite diversity and infinite combinations equals infinite possible solutions. Okay, bye everybody.